Happy Friday, everybody. I just wanted to get on here really quickly before I get back to work and just let you know we do have days of caution coming up for this weekend. So I wanted you to be aware of that. I'm reiterating it. 24th, 25th, and 26th. Those are the 3 days of the highest energy. That doesn't mean that things can't happen on the 27th and 28th as well. But this is Uranic energy. So in the next 5 days, expect some sort of shocking news to come through. Expect some sort of bizarre news to come through the airwaves. Earthquakes, earth changes, volcanic eruptions, crazy weather, tornadoes, electricity, lightning, hurricanes, anything like this will take place in certain parts of the world, not just the United States. But I did want to just get on here really quick and explain all of that to you. I'm slowly unpacking, so I'm slowly finding tarot decks. And so I wanted to leave you with a card. I'm going to pull a tarot card for you. I actually found this deck. Found 2 more decks. I have my Rider-Waite one. But a friend of mine, I wanted to share this deck with you. I don't know if I've ever... Hi, Rihanna. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday, hon. A friend of mine whose mother passed away a couple of years ago, very tragically, was cleaning out her mom's stuff, and she found these tarot cards in a drawer of her mother's. And she thought of me, and I was very honored to be receiving these because I knew her. I met her mother once, only once, and she was an incredibly cool lady. I don't know how else to explain it. These are very old. These were from, they're made in Switzerland. They're in French. I don't use them very often because, number one, I'm not very fluent in French, but they are very beautiful, and they're very old cards. So what I have done, and I don't usually work with these, but these are calling to me more than the other deck right now. And I do have a couple of tarot readings on the agenda for this weekend. I will probably be working with this since I found 2 decks, but I lost my witches deck because I'm very out of sorts right now and need order. But I wanted to pull a tarot card for you about the situation in the way of the world and whatnot. But before I go into that, there's something I'm glad to hear you're doing well. That is awesome. And it's Friday. Yay. Before I moved here, it was probably a week and a half before I left. I'd still had my computers up at my other house. I know that there was a couple of ghosts in that house, so I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Okay, but the universe is giving me a very big message. Anyway, long story short, this was probably mid-September. I had shut down all my computers. I have 2. I have the main one, and I have the one that runs solely the software. I had shut down both computers, and I know I did. Okay, about an hour later, the computer that has my software turned back on by itself, mind you. Hi, Gail. How are you, hon? Turned back on by itself. My other software, the software that I record the readings on, never turned back on. Strange thing was, the computer with my software turned on, went into my software program and pulled up a chart. So there was a chart sitting there. You're not going to believe whose chart it was. It was Melania Trump's. Now, hi, Sarah. How are you? And hi, Pamela, my broom sister. How are you? It pulled up Melania Trump's chart, and I'm going, well, what the heck is going on? Okay, the ghosts in my house are being tricksters. I thought nothing more of it. Shut it all down. I did tell broom sister Pam this, And she goes, that's kind of strange. That's kind of interesting. It happened again last night. I had shut down both computers because I'm working on charts, and I shut them down at the end of the night. I know I shut them both down. Aw, thank you. How sweet. That makes my day. I just got out of the DMV for the third time, by the way. Long story. I'm not even going to go into that. But I shut my computers down last night. And the one with the software turned back on. And guess whose chart had popped up again? Melania Trump's. So I sat there this morning at breakfast and I told my kids what happened. And I go, I can't blame a ghost. I don't know what the hell is going on. The universe is giving me a really, really big message. So a couple of broadcasts ago, I said December would be a bad month for Trump and to get out your popcorn. I'm starting to, after looking at Melania's chart a little bit, I am going to do her chart and I'm going to go over it with you probably Monday or Tuesday, definitely before the full moon. Obviously, the universe is giving me a very big message. So I was kind of looking at her chart last night. And there's a part of me that's feeling a little guilty because I had said to you the months of December to get out your popcorn, either pray for Trump or get out your popcorn because you're going to be entertained. Now, I was coming from a spiritual place when I said that. But once I started looking at his wife's chart, I got a little alarmed and a little disturbed with some things. I think there's something brewing there that's far worse than a divorce. Remember I said I'm hoping it's only a divorce, is what I kept saying. You can live after a divorce. But now that I'm looking at her stars, I'm a little concerned. I wish I had the chart printed out, but my computer's not hooked up to the printer quite yet. I'm getting that done this weekend. She has a dragon's tail in the 6th house of health in Virgo, and the dragon's head is sitting in her 12th house of the subconscious mind in Pisces. So this woman, First Lady, whether you like her or hate her, she has some metaphysical gifts. I don't know if she's aware of them, but with that tail sitting on her health, she just canceled all of her appearances. I think they're keeping a very big secret from us in the White House. Like I said, I haven't looked into her chart in great detail, so I'm not going to open my big mouth, but I'm very concerned for her health. At first, I thought it was going to be a divorce, but this could quite possibly be where Donald Trump becomes a widower. I'm not hoping for that. That is not what I want, but I'm concerned. And after 2 times the computer turning on in her chart, of all charts, I've got tens, about 1,000 people in my software, my database. Of all the charts to pop up, why hers? And for the second time now. So yes, the universe is giving me a very big message that I've got to look into her stars, regardless of who's going to win the election. There is tragedy coming for Trump in December, and I hope to God I am completely off. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's just a divorce. But looking at her stars and her health, she shares the same dragon's head and tail as I do. I have a dragon's head in Pisces, and my tail is in Virgo. Different placement. My placement's the 3rd and 9th house. Her placement is the 6th and the 12th house, with the tail being on the 6th house of health. Now, anybody who has a dragon's tail in Virgo or a rising in Virgo, these are people that are going to have to keep things holistic and natural. Now, through the years, if I had ingested every damn drug that every doctor prescribed to me, I'd probably be dead from an overdose. I know my body and I know myself, and there's just some drugs I will not take. One of them is gabapentin. I was prescribed that once for an ear infection, and I'm going, why are you giving me gabapentin for an ear infection? I will not take gabapentin. So Melania Trump needs to keep things as natural and as healthy as possible, and I'm coming from my own personal self because I share the same dragon head and tail as her. Her husband recovered from the COVID with all these drugs. Her not so much. And if you notice, you don't hear about her right now. She's not in the spotlight. Everything is hush hush. There's a big secret being kept, and I'm praying that she comes out of it okay. But I got to look into her stars a little more before I open my big mouth. I just took a quick glimpse at them, and as I'm looking, I'm going, oh no, the tail's in the 6th house. That's health. That's not good. Anytime you deal with any kind of dragon's tail in the 6th house, the human being, the individual, the soul will have health problems of some sort. Not necessarily throughout their entire life, but certain portions of their life. They will experience these. So me saying get out your popcorn might have been a little callous of me, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm being callous. That I basically came on here to reiterate that, because I would hate to say to someone, hey, get out your popcorn because December is going to be tragedy for Trump, and then something happens to his wife. I would feel horrible, but I just wanted to share that with you, and I will get on her chart after I finish doing my clients' charts. But I wanted to pull some cards for everybody today. Just one. And this is going to be what the world sees and what the world has to endure for the weekend. So I'm not going to pull a card for every day. This is a Friday card for the entire weekend, starting now through Sunday, of how the world is going to deal with this Uranic energy that's coming, because it's not just for the United States. This is global energy. And I'm on here too because my kids are at the vet with a cat that they found, because, what's one more mouth to feed, right? The crazy cat lady. Wow, that's an interesting card. It's in French, so these are a little bit different than what I'm used to, but this is Le Judgement. This is the Judgment card. And what this means is that the universe is being put under a judgment of some sort. Judgments can be positive and negative in nature. So the universe is being put under a judgment. In my witch's deck, I believe this is the karma card, if I'm correct. So yes, there's coming into judgment. We're being judged as a nation. The universe is being judged in some way. This is a judgment card. It can, like I said, good or bad. It can go both ways depending on the individual's karma. Okay. Judgment. I drew two. So, like I said, my French is really bad, so I need my Sophia here who's learning French. Let me hold on, you guys. Like these cards are very old and they kind of stick together. And so, and I'm only pulling the major arcana right now. All right, I pulled a second card here. And this is, I don't know how to say it in French. Le étoile. These are the stars in English. It's the star card. And how appropriate for a Uranic phase. We're going into a Uranic phase this weekend. The stars. Uranus rules the stars. Aquarius rules the stars. So there may be a judgment put on the universe in some way. But towards the end of this weekend, you're going to see the stars. And what the stars mean is it's like reaching for the light in some ways. The stars shine upon you. This is one of the best cards in the deck. Now, I'm thinking, because I'm pulling these for the Uranic energy that's coming, I had mentioned in my last broadcast that if you're into stargazing and you're into UFOs, the stars are the best time to stargaze, to see our futuristic brothers. Now, I have to admit, in the last couple of weeks that I have been here, I've probably seen about 4 UFOs in the sky, and I know how to decipher the difference between them. With planes, there's always flashing, blinking lights. With a UFO, it usually looks like a star, and it doesn't move, or it stays in one spot, or the star looks like it's moving. That's what I've been noticing the last few weeks, is the star just kind of moves along and then just poof, disappears. Okay, that's UFOs. Those are UFOs, or some sort of high-tech military thing. I realize I am a lot closer to a couple of bases, secret bases. I have Area 51 to the west of me. I have Dulce in New Mexico to the east of me, and Phoenix is always getting extraterrestrial activity. So the stars are telling me, for personal reasons, they're going to shine on you this weekend. It doesn't mean not to heed the warning of Uranic energy that's here, but look up into the sky. I'm debating, since I'm living out here now and it's incredibly beautiful at night with the stars, I've decided to maybe invest in night vision goggles. And I say this only because if you've ever looked up at the sky at night with night vision goggles, that saying, as above, so below, really does ring true. And when I say that there's a war in heaven, like there is here on earth, I mean that literally, and it's proof with those night vision goggles. If you put those night vision goggles on, and I say this because I've seen it with my own eyes, you can actually see, with those goggles on at night, you can see spacecraft in the sky. I went on an excursion about 8 years ago, and I did some night vision goggles with a group that works in California with the paranormal, and it was amazing. I mean, I could actually see spaceships fighting each other in the sky. You can't see it with the human eye. Once you put those night vision goggles on, you can see a lot, and it really does prove that we are not alone in this universe. And even the alien races are fighting with each other, just like the human race here is fighting with each other. As above, so below. It makes perfect sense. There is a war in heaven. And it's a war with extraterrestrial races against each other, just like there's a war here on Earth, a race war between people's skin color. Okay? So as above, so below, I repeat it again. But if you ever have the opportunity to do night vision goggles, please do. It is incredible. It is it's almost life-changing in a way, especially to a person who is has a very logical mind. People who put logic and reason over anything else. I'm like this in some ways because my Mercury's in Capricorn, logic and reason. So for me to actually see this with my own eyes, it made me a believer, really. And not that I never believed before, I did, but it made me even more of a believer. When you see it with your own eyes, it is absolutely incredible. So my Christmas wish is some night vision goggles. I told my kids that's what I want, and so we'll see if Santa brings that or not. But remember, 2 cards, Le Judgement, and a more positive one, which is the stars. Like I said, this is karma. This is the karma card. So karma is coming to a lot of us, both positive and negative. This is the star card. Stars shine upon us in some way. And this also represents good news. So hang in there. All right, that is about it. I just wanted to get on here really quickly and tell you about my Melania Trump episode, which now is making me kind of worried. And I kind of wanted to come out on here, not to eat crow per se, but to reiterate my words when I said, get out your popcorn. I mean, some of you may be very entertained by it. I don't wish death upon anybody. Death is too easy. But I do not wish death upon her, and I'm concerned now. Like I said, I'm going to have to go look into her stars before I say any more than I'm saying. I've already said too much until I look at her stars. But I have to finish readings this weekend, so Melania Trump goes on the back burner till about Monday or Tuesday of this week. Want to wish all of you a very wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Remember, Mercury is in retrograde, so with a Uranic energy on top of that, traveling could become a little dangerous. Drive on the defense, know your surroundings, and you should get through this just fine. Okay? No flying either. Remember the golden rule. Uranic phases, wanting or waxing. Flying? No bueno. No flying. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. Gail, Sarah, Pam, I think Rihanna was on there too. Thank you guys for joining me, and please have a wonderful, safe weekend ahead. And I might do a show and tell over the weekend of the new kitty we trapped. Of course, I trapped the wrong cat this morning. I trapped someone else's cat. So we let that cat go. We were able to trap the other one, and now she's at the vet with my daughter. It's kind of strange how animals come into your lives, you know. She's a stray, supposedly a feral, but she's very, very, I mean, I can actually hold her in my arms. She comes right up to me. So, she's probably going to be my cat. God bless you too, Gail. You all out there, bless you. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Ciao.